With the help of MSX125accessories.com, we're going to be showing you how to install the Spyker style rear sets. So the issues some customers are having with the rear sets aren't specifically with the rear sets themselves, but rather the installation. A lot of the feedback is actually concerning the installation and how to install them properly. So with this video, we're going to open up the box, we're going to divide the contents into what goes where, and then show you a quick walkthrough on how to install these rear sets on your Grom. Alright, so opening the box for the first time, don't be alarmed. You're exposed to a lot of pieces, and what we're going to do is divide these up into left rear set parts and right rear set parts. So once you unwrap everything from the bubble wrap, you're basically left with the two rear set assemblies, including the passenger pegs, shift lever, a brake lever, your pegs and hardware, more hardware, shift linkage, and then a couple other random parts. Alright, so we're going to be looking at this from the viewer's perspective as if you were on the bike. So this will be your left side slash shift side, this will be your right side slash brake side. So we have two pegs, both identical, go on either side, two bolts, both identical, go on either side. Now you're left with a thick black washer and a thin black washer. The thick one will go on your left side, the shift side. The thin one will go on your right side, the brake side. You have your brake and shift lever. These are pretty self-explanatory. Whichever way the shift peg is sitting, that's where it's going. This is going to go on your left for shifting. This is going to go on your right for braking. Now you have three different size aluminum spacers. The two larger ones are going to go on your right side for braking, and the smaller one is going to go on the left side for shifting. And then you have your shift linkage, obviously on the left side, and then a shift arm. However, you probably can reuse the one on the Grom. And then you have a Heim joint with this spacer in between. This is going to go on your brake side, so this will go on your right side. And then we have a handful of random pieces that we're going to touch base on once we actually start going through the process. So unfortunately, I've already taken the rear sets off this bike to install on a different Grom. However, the one thing I need to really touch about right here is this bolt. This bolt is going to hold both the rear sets as well as the swing arm and frame together. If we were to pull this out right now, the whole bike would fall apart. So what we're going to do is we're going to get an extension that's going to take place of this bolt. We're going to tap it through, and as we tap this through, it'll push the bolt out, and this will take place of the bolt, keeping the bike together. Alright, so the bolt's already most of the way through. We're just going to install this. You might have to move the bike around a little bit to get it to line up. So now this is in the swing arm as well as the frame. It's going to hold the bike together as we pull the bolt out the other side. We'll spin the bike around to show you. Alright, bolt is most of the way out. We're going to go ahead and tap it all the way through. There we go. Bolt is out. Alright, so this main bolt slides in through the left side, through your shift side. So what we're going to do is we're going to build that rear set first, because that's going to be the first thing that goes on this. So you have the rear set assembly with the passenger pegs. I don't run passenger pegs, so I'm going to go ahead and take these off. Now if you were to run passenger pegs, you would obviously keep those on there. But for me, I do not, so I'm removing them. Do not throw them away, keep them. You never know when you might want them. Alright, next, these aluminum heel guards. During installation, it would be a good idea to Loctite everything. This is actually going to go through here, like so. We're going to start with the bolt, through the back, large spacer. Take your shift lever, install it, and take your foot peg. There you go, everything's loosely installed. Nice smooth motion, everything looks good. Shift linkage, and these we'll put on later. Alright, so pretty much the same thing with the left side as the right side. What we're going to do is we're going to take off the passenger pegs. We have the bolt, that's where the peg's going to go. Back, small, thin black washer. You're going to do your brake lever. Is that right? Yep. Foot peg, Basic assembly. There we go. So your brake side is pretty much done. Master is gonna attach there, along with a couple other brackets that we're gonna talk about once we actually install it. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take our left rear set assembly and we're gonna go ahead and slide it on. This is where that small aluminum spacer is gonna come into play. We're gonna take this large bolt, slide it through. This spacer is gonna go on the large bolt between the rear set and where the frame would line up. And all we're gonna do is just tap this back in. We're gonna take one of the small Allen wrench bolts. It's gonna go through the bottom. There you go. All right, now for installing the shift linkage, you're gonna need the shift linkage itself and then this really small, tiny aluminum spacer. All right, so we're gonna start in the rear. We're gonna take the bolt, slide it through the rear set. You're going to take that aluminum spacer, slide it on, slide the Heim joint on, and then attach the nut on the back side. For up front, you're basically just going to take the bolt, slide it through the Heim joint, slide it through your shift linkage, nut on the back, and you're golden. Granted, I haven't tightened anything, so it's loose. But you're going to use this linkage right here to adjust how high you want your lever. We'll go through that once I tighten everything up. Alright, so here's what the left rear set looks like, completely installed and tightened. It's very firm. There's no play. The only play right now is in the actual shift linkage just because I haven't tightened it down. Basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to turn this and both Heim joints are going to react with each other, raising or lowering the shift lever. That's going to allow you to find the optimal position for where you want your shift lever. So in this configuration I'm running the GP setup. If the linkage is on top, GP setup. If the linkage is on the bottom, standard setup. So all I got to do is just find out where that shift lever is that I like it. Oops. Tighten these nuts on the turnbuckles. And this side is good to go. Alright, so we're going to be starting on the right side now, your brake side. We're going to install this little heel guard real quick. Once again, it'd probably be a good idea if you're permanently mounting these to use Loctite. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our large spacer. Our large spacer is going to slide on top, just like that. Alright, we're going to take our medium spacer, slide the bolt through the bottom of the rear set, medium spacer through, and then just kind of line everything up. Alright, at this point you can go ahead and take the nut, go ahead and install it back on. Alright, now we have our rear master cylinder we need to install. Alright, so what you want to do next is you want to take this brake lever Heim joint right here and thread it onto the bottom of your master. I found that bottoming it out works best for me. However, your style of riding might differ. Once again, you adjust your height of your brake lever by adjusting that Heim joint in and out. The higher that Heim joint is on the master, the lower your brake lever. The lower it is, the higher your brake lever. I like mine kind of low and out of the way. I'm sure I'll have to adjust it later, but I like mine pretty low. And that's the basic setup. We'll tighten everything down and then we'll worry about the brake light. Alright, so the brake light switch varies from rear set to rear set, however the concept is still pretty much the same. You have one more hole on the bottom of your brake lever. What we're going to do is, We're going to take this long bolt spacer with 2 nuts. We're going to place the bolt through. This spacer is going to go on the back side with the 2 nuts. And then you're going to have this bracket. This bracket is what's going to actually hold that brake light sensor. And then on the back side of the rear set right here, you're going to have another bolt. You're going to apply the bolt through the bracket. Tighten this back up. And now your rear brake switch is going to sit in this hole right here. You're going to use this spring right here to attach to this bolt on the bottom and the bottom of your rear brake light switch. I don't have one on this bike because I never really used the rear brake, let alone for a brake light, but that's how you would do it. So to get rear sets like these, you can go ahead and hit up MSX125accessories.com, scroll through all their cool parts they got. I mean, I got a ton of stuff from them. Obviously these rear sets, I got another set of rear sets on my other Grom. I got axle sliders, frame sliders, clip-ons, I got the exhaust. So they got some really cool stuff at really, really good prices. Head over there, check them out, order some stuff, and hope you enjoyed the video. Let's answer a lot of questions for you.